so many problems in the world and with the people and
Yeah.
the black people and the white people in the whole world, and people dying and getting shot. And me being one of the few of my kind, being blessed to come on the shows or to get the privilege to make a little money, I just feel so guilty laughing and joking like everything is so rosy while people are hungry and can't find work and how to work and getting put out of apartments, and me up here showing my TV.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, Cardinal Red, and we back for some more of that Ali Land Daily Boxing Talk, people. And today we talking Terence Crawford prediction of Spence Garcia plus President Manny Pacquiao. Alright, y'all, so we're going to break down Terence Crawford's prediction of Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia and a few other topics Terence Crawford hit on in his latest IG post. Then I'm going to hit you with Manny Pacquiao's new position as president. Alright, y'all, let's get into it.
I just want to talk boxing a little bit with everybody, you know what I mean? Everybody always coming at me, coming at my throat. They say, you know, I ain't fought nobody at the 147-pound division.
Alright, man, so to touch on what Terence Crawford just said, you know, most people say, or a lot of boxing fans and analysis say that he hasn't fought anybody. And, you know, to his defense, I will say this. Me personally, I'm going to stop saying that boxers, you know, are ducking each other or they're not wanting to fight each other, because I think it's unfair to the fighters, because, you know, these guys don't control their own careers. You know, let's just keep it real. The managers control their careers. They do what's best for the manager. The accountants control their portion of their careers, and they do what's best for the accountants. And at the top of the food chain is the promoter. The promoter controls these guys' careers, and they do what's best for the promoter, not what's best for the fighter. You know, a promoter, a manager, an accountant, they'll all get together and set a fighter up to lose or be knocked out simply because it's in the best interest of the company. So I'm going to stop saying that, you know, these guys are ducking each other. But here's the flip side to that. You know, he hasn't fought anybody. And when you compare the fighters at PBC to the fighters at Top Rank in the welterweight division, there's nobody left. Now, there was a chance for him to fight Manny Pacquiao at a certain time, and we all know why that fight didn't come to fruition. Now, we can listen to all the YouTube boxing channels in the world that say, you know, Pacquiao ducked him or Crawford ducked him, when at the end of the day, we know Bob Arum did not make the fight because it wasn't in the best interest of Terence Crawford's career at that moment, and Pacquiao was on his way out. So in Bob Arum's mind, Pacquiao was going to run away with a whole lot of money and possibly defeating his top fighter that he had besides Lomachenko at the time. So, you know, if we blame anybody for why Terence Crawford hasn't fought any credible welterweights, we have to blame Bob Arum, not Terence Crawford.
But let's all be real for one moment. And everybody talking about they always, you know, they real and they know boxing. Well, let's be real. If you know boxing, why should we consider Danny Garcia a top welterweight in the division? Can somebody tell me that?
Again, you know, Terence Crawford makes a very legitimate point. You know, if people are saying that Danny Garcia is a top tier welterweight, I think they're simply misled, man, and mistaken. You know, Danny Garcia is a good welterweight, but he's not on the level of a Terence Crawford, an Errol Spence Jr., a Manny Pacquiao, a Keith Thurman, or a Sean Porter. You know, I think all those guys are the top 5 welterweights in boxing right now. And if people are saying that somehow that Danny is in that caliber. You know, he has the possibility of being in that caliber if he can do what nobody else has had the opportunity to do yet, which is beat Errol Spence. They've had the opportunity, they just haven't actually pulled it off. So if he can pull it off, yeah, you have to put him in the top tier of welterweights. But at the moment, you know, I've said this in the past in my final prediction video for Spence Garcia, that I don't consider Garcia a top 147 pound fighter. You know, he's a good 147 pound fighter, but he's not top tier. But if he can pull this off and beat Spence, man, you would have to be crazy not to say he's one of the top welterweights now. But at the moment, no, he's not on their level. And if you are thinking that he's on their level, he has a lot to prove this Saturday night, man. He has a whole lot to prove, and there's a lot on the line this Saturday night.
And that's my boy, you know what I mean? I ain't hating on him or nothing. I just want to hear, you know, from the people. And let's be real, Danny ain't beat nobody in the welterweight division. He beat Paulie, Robert Guerrero, and everybody beat them. If we going by what the media say, he's not a top welterweight. You know, he lost. Now, given Terence Crawford case, you know what I mean, you can say what you want. I won the fights that I had to win, you know, against the guys that I had to win against.
Alright, so here's why I'm agree but disagree with Terence Crawford at the same time. He's saying, well, what makes him a top tier welterweight and a great fighter is the fact it doesn't matter who he fought. I won the fight, you know. And that's why I agree, but I disagree. Yes, you won, and yes, you deserve to be considered at the top of the welterweight division, but there is a big emphasis on who you fought. You know, in the same way that you're saying Danny hasn't fought anybody, and the fights that he did get, he lost, that were good fights, that he lost the good fights. But at the same time, you're saying, well, I beat a bunch of nobodies or a bunch of cherry-picked fights, but I won the fight, so you got to consider me amongst the top tier of welterweights, you know. And, you know, I agree with him to a certain extent. Yeah, you have to win, but at the same time, you have to be fighting caliber guys. You can't just be fighting anybody that they put in front of you. And basically, this is what I mean by, you know, Bob Arum is controlling his career. If Bob Arum's only going to match him up against last generation superstars in the welterweight division, or just whoever he has available in his stable of welterweights, then you can't be considered the greatest welterweight out there. You can't even be considered the top welterweight above Pacquiao. You know, I still consider Pacquiao the number 2 guy. It's Spence, Pacquiao, Crawford, you know, to me, if you ask me. And simply because I would put Pacquiao number 1, but, you know, he's getting older, so you got to respect these young guys who are doing their thing. I put Spence number 1 because he's younger, he's on the come up, he's beaten a lot of good welterweights, and the only one who's great still out there is Manny Pacquiao. So you can't degrade Errol Spence because he hasn't gotten a Pacquiao fight yet. He's on his way to earning one. You know, that's the difference. He's earning his shot. And Terence Crawford is basically just fighting whoever Bob Arum puts in front of him. He's letting Bob Arum run the show. He can't for his best interest and to become a household name and to make the most amount of money he wants to make. He can't let Bob Arum control his career. He has to somehow take control of his career, because Bob Arum is not doing what's in Terence Crawford's best interest. He's doing what's in Bob Arum's best interests. And at this point, you know, he, like I said, he makes a legitimate point. He won those fights, but you haven't fought a credible name besides Kell Brook. And we can all see there's something wrong with Kell Brook. He's damaged goods at this point. Not that he's not a good fighter, he's just taking a little bit too much damage to be considered amongst the top welterweights.
But this week gonna be a tremendous fight, I'm telling y'all. You know what I mean? Danny ain't no pushover, and everybody excited to see how Errol gonna come back. You know, we shall see this week. Who y'all got this weekend, Danny or Errol?
Me personally, man, I'm rolling with Errol. I think Errol Spence is the most talented welterweight out there right now. You know, like I said before, I put him at the top of the welterweight list. Manny Pacquiao second, simply because, you know, his resume says it all. And, you know, he's done it all in the sport of boxing. And then Terence Crawford, a close third. But when it comes to this fight, Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia, I'm definitely looking for Errol Spence to win this fight and possibly score a knockout, do it in dramatic fashion for his comeback after the accident, and push forward and actually see him fighting Manny Pacquiao in the very, very near future. So let me know what y'all think about that down in the comment section. Who y'all guys picking this weekend, Danny or Errol Spence Jr.? Let me know. Now let's get into some Manny Pacquiao news. According to GMA News Online, and the name of the article is Manny Pacquiao, new president of Duterte PDP Laban. I don't know what that means. If you're Filipino, correct my English and let me know what does that exactly mean. It just says Senator Manny Pacquiao is now the president of President Redondo Duty's party, PDP Laban. A party official said on Wednesday night. Party executive director Ron Masaik said Speaker Lord Alan Velasco was the party's new executive vice president. Let's welcome our new PDP Laban party president, Senator Manny Pacquiao, and EVP Speaker Lord Velasco. If you're in the Philippines, man, and you watch my videos, please let me know what this means. In my eyes, I'm thinking that Manny Pacquiao is like the new speaker of a specific party in the Philippines. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I would say he's like the equivalent of Nancy Pelosi being the Speaker of the House for the Democrats. So, like I said, if you're in the Philippines and you watch the videos, let me know what this exactly means, because it's not interpreted in English very well what exactly this means. So that's Ali Land Boxing Talk for today, man. Please hit that like button for me. You know, tell a friend, tell a family member, your dog, your cat, you know, your significant other, whoever it is you kicking it with at the moment, your homie on the moon, about Cardinal Red and Ali Land Boxing Talk. We're trying to grow this platform as big as we can get it, and with your help, that is possible, man. Like always, believe in yourself, follow your dreams, man. Your dreams will come true. Just pursue it. You know, you got to do it to make it come true. It's your boy Cardinal Red, and we out of here.
I've been watching.